awesome film. I'm a huge fan of Anchorman as well. So.
Oh, thank you, thank you.
Before we get into talking about this amazing film, The Big Short, I wanted to flash back with you and go back to the time before you got into this biz.
Okay.
How did you get interested in this? Because it looks like you were doing stand-up comedy back when you were in college. Is that when it all started for you, or?
Yeah, I was an English major in college, and this comedy boom was kind of hitting everywhere. There were like clubs opening on every street, and I love stand-up comedy, so I started doing that. And then during the day, I would go up my college classes, and I was an okay stand-up. I wasn't great. I worked, on the weekends. I think the highlight was I got to open for Chris Rock, was like the highlight of my little mini college career. And then eventually I heard about improvisation, long-form improvisation in Chicago, so I moved to Chicago to study that. And that's where we ended up starting a group called the Upright Citizens Brigade. And then I did Second City, and out of that I got hired for Saturday Night Live.
That's right. So when you got hired on for Saturday Night Live, did you have to audition to get in there, or what was that like for you?
I did. They had me audition, and I kind of knew, like, I don't really do impressions or big characters. I was always sort of more of a writer type performer. Yeah. So, I did an audition. It was okay. It was respectable. But as soon as I got off stage, I went up to Lorne Michaels with my stack of scripts and was like, here, I'm a writer as well. So very smart move on my part. I got hired as a writer.
Right on.
Yeah.
I hear that you were actually in the audience as an obnoxious audience member. Is this true? I keep hearing about this, so.
I don't know if you mean that just naturally in a lot of audiences, or
that they gave you roles for being in there, right?
They did.
Yeah.
I'm sure I've been an obnoxious audience member by accident before. Yeah, they would occasionally, this one writer, T. Sean Shannon, was always like, you should be performing. So he would write me in the audience bothering hosts. So I did a couple bits like that on the show.
Right on.
Yeah, I would occasionally perform a little bit, some small bits and stuff. But then I became head writer, and that became like full-time job.
Wow.
Yeah.
What was your favorite skit that you wrote for SNL?
There's one I did. It was my first year with Will Ferrell, Nancy Walls, David Alan Grier, called Wake Up and Smile. And it was about a morning show where the teleprompter broke. Oh my God. And they instantly reverted to cavemen because no one was telling them what to say anymore. And it was just a crazy, unhinged sketch that, like, I was so excited I got on network television. But probably the most famous ones I did, I wrote a lot of the political cold openers for Bill Clinton, for Darrell Hammond. I wrote the original Celebrity Jeopardy. Myself and Rob Carlock wrote that, and a lot of the ad parodies and different stuff like that.
That's so great. It's incredible. I'm laughing just thinking about it. I actually want to now go back to the film The Big Short, which is a brilliant film. All-star cast with Brad Pitt, Steve Carell, Christian Bale. How did this happen? Like, how did this even come to you, this project, and how did you get these people to sign on to do this project?
It's one of the craziest things. I was working on the script at home, and I always keep like a little cork board next to my computer where I have like my dream cast. And so I'll always just put like fantasy people there. So I had like Christian Bale, Brad Pitt, Steve Carell, Ryan Gosling. And then, I turned the script into the studio, and they had some notes, and I said, well, can I try my fantasy cast?
Yeah.
And they were like, yeah, sure, knock yourself out, knowing that everyone was gonna say no. Mm-hmm. And within 2 weeks, they all said yes. I don't think I've ever experienced anything like it. And at that point, basically, the studio realized they had to make this movie, so everything started happening really fast.
Right, and the subject matter is very sensitive, obviously, and I'm curious how you were able to tie in the entertainment aspect and make this film, because obviously it's about the housing market and the economy collapsing. So the way you put this together, how did you even come up with this idea to do this?
Well, it's kind of a mixture of things. I mean, on the one hand, it's really tragic what happened, there's no question. A lot of people suffered from this. Yeah. But the moments that our sort of band of outsiders are trying to figure out what happened are really exciting. I mean, it's exciting when people look for the truth. Yeah. Sort of like in All the President's Men, when Woodward and Bernstein are like looking for the truth about Nixon, you realize it's going to end with a really tragic story, but while they're searching for that truth, it's really exciting and kind of fun. So the movie has like all these different feelings to it. It's sometimes exciting, sometimes it's funny, sometimes it's heartbreaking, and then ultimately, of course, it's tragic. And that's what I loved about the Michael Lewis book. That's what really drew me to it.
Exactly.